You see that shit? You see that shit right there? That's what CBT looks like. And Trial of Second My Balls isn't much better. Let's talk about it. What's good, y'all? It's Xylar. And like I said, it's time to talk about Ascending. I waited on this for a bit. I wanted to see what GGG would do. In my opinion, they didn't do nearly enough before they went on break for the holidays. I am a ranged minion cuck, and even I think the Sekima trial, and for that matter, Ultimatum, is way too fucking brutal. People are just trying to get their third and fourth ascendancy, and I don't know who in Path of Exile 1 ever said, man, ascending is too easy. I wish it was more difficult. My third ascendancy, it just comes to me so naturally. I don't have to work for it. It's so lame. My fourth ascendancy, it's just a fucking handout. Too much free power. GGG, do something. Because for some reason, with already so much skepticism and, you know, I would say like distrust, a lot of people, they weren't too enthusiastic, unlike myself, about replacing Lab with Sanctum and Ultimatum. So you would think they would, you know, err on the side of caution and not pretty much force people to go through some weird form of CBT, just pain Olympic, annoying obstacle course of just getting your third and fourth ascendancy. But they just full sent it. I don't know how any of them played it as melee and said this is okay. Are they just fine with not ascending until they're able to kill a pinnacle boss? Because I've killed the Arbiter, I've killed Zesh on +1, 2, and 3. I have killed, still haven't found the Nameless King, so that's not my fault. I'm trying to, oh, and Ulroth, the expedition guy. So I've engaged with their pinnacle hard content, and I'll be honest, the Trial Master and the Time Boss, if you factor in not losing all your honor, are more difficult. I'd say the Arbiter's more difficult than them, but it's kind of has a bullshit gimmick mechanic, so is what it is. But the fact that I'm even comparing these bosses that you do to get your fourth ascendancy, which for some people it's good, but it's not like holy shit, now it's Jover, I'm done, full power unlocked, oh the game's free now. For a lot of people it's just like, yeah, it'd be nice to get my fourth ascendancy. I'm struggling in yellow maps, I'm struggling, I'm starting to do T14s and T15s, and I'm struggling here, I need some help. Let me go get my fourth ascendancy. Oh fuck, you want me to kill Xerok, the time god, and after 4 floors of Sanctum? What the fuck? Wait, you want me to go do 30 minimum 30 waves of Ultimatum just to get enough of these fragments? If you're SSF, of course you can trade for them, 9, 22, and 11x respectively, so not cheap. 30 waves of Ultimatum minimum to get these tokens, if you get the right one each time you do it. And then you can fight the Trial Master. I haven't fought it as melee, but I heard that somebody, someone who commented in my last video, said they had 80% PDR, all res cap, 75% block, and the dude like one hit comboed him, like the first hit stunned him, and then the full hit combo killed him. What? Where is melee supposed to go to ascend? They said like melee's better in PoE 2. Melee's better. It's better to be closer to the bosses because they'll have like different mechanics based off your range. Bro, you go into Sanctum and you lose all your honor because you're interacting with the monsters and they just love tap you, and you're like, oh, minus honor, okay. So, you know, let's go over to Ultimatum. They ask you to do whatever this fucking trial is a billion times to get enough fragments to then try the Trial Master. And by the way, wave 10, wave 7, depending on the mods you get, it's not free. And I think they carry over into the Trial Master fight. Not entirely certain. If they do, Jesus fucking Christ. You get to the boss, and then he fucking one-hits you because you're melee. I've seen friends who are ranged do the boss, and myself, I've done the boss ranged. Yeah, he's not a big deal. So it's all around easier if you're ranged. So what the fuck does melee do? And it's not easy to begin with. I managed to do Zarok on a second Infernalist that I leveled with my other character's gear at level 75, and my other character's gear was worth like 10 to 15 divines. And then I was like, yeah, well, of course he's easy. I got minus life, plus damage, plus move speed, and I have like 10 to 15 divines worth of gear on a minion character, which is one of the better builds in the league currently. So I would fucking hope this was easy, but still, honestly, it wasn't that easy compared to how much I had going for me. So again, this is your 4th Ascendancy. Like, it's just unlocking the last part of your class. And I am shocked they left it this way by the time doing the holidays. But stay on the point, it's an absurd ask. If you're asking me, I believe, I said it when I first did the trial, my 3rd Ascendancy, when I first did 3 floors of Sanctum. That should be as how difficult it is to get your 4th. Honestly, still a little bit easier. But if, as hard as it was to do 3 floors of Sanctum on my somewhat fresh character, like it was like day 3 or 4 or 5 of the league, as hard as that was, if that was what they asked of you to get your 4th, I'd say it's about right. That makes sense. Sure, it's still a fair bit harder than Lab in PoE 1, but it's a fair ask if they want to up the ante. But I was like, bro, this is my 3rd. What the fuck is my 4th? And then I found out what my 4th was, failed it once trying to do it, passed it twice. It was bugged at that point in time. Not bugged anymore, thank fucking God. It was bugged, so I had to redo it 3 times. It wasn't until I did 3 4-floor runs of Sanctum that I was able to ascend, because it was bugged the first 2 times, even though I beat the challenge. And Ultimatum, bro, I tried Ultimatum. I killed the Trial Master the 3rd time. The first 2 times I put in these fragments and they just got deleted into the void. It didn't work. Again, that bug is also gone. So I was waiting until they resolved the confusion and the misunderstandings and the bugs and what their first update to both of these mechanics were going to be with regards to ascending, because I didn't want to like come up with a video like this and then boom, they make everything better and I just feel like an idiot. They did a light nerf to Sanctum and a light nerf to Ultimatum, and then they pieced the fuck out. So here we are. If you're asking me, like I said, I think there should be a static token. If they want to keep it to where you have to kill the Trial Master and you have to kill Zarok, there should be a static token. It has a set amount of things that it gives you and is purely for ascending with minimal rewards, similar to PoE 1 Lab. PoE 1 Lab, you can do more in it if you want to get more juice out of it, but most people will just beeline to Izaro, kill him, and get their Ascendancy. So they get very minimal rewards compared to what they could have got out of Lab. Whereas the way Sanctum works and Ultimatum works, it's not really like that. Like, yeah, you could optimize a little bit more for ease in Sanctum, but you're pretty much getting the full experience every time. And that is brutal, man. Some people, they just want to get their Ascendancy. So I would feel like it would be better if, like in PoE 1, they had it would basically be a token with a generated static layout, purely for ascending, minimal rewards. Just, you get some in PoE 1, even if you beeline for Izaro, so still minimal rewards. And honestly, it should checkpoint at the bosses. When you run this variant, I don't see the value in, you got to Zarok, but you didn't know that you need to run through the hourglasses when you walk in the middle. So bye-bye 1 hour and a half. See ya. Come back tomorrow. Hey, tomorrow after work, tomorrow when you get back from school, try me again. Maybe you can ascend that time, bozo. Like, what are we talking about? Nobody wants to deal with that when they play like hard games with bosses. Nobody wants to just get gotcha'd into losing an hour and a half of their time. It doesn't feel fair. It's not a fun experience. It's cheap. And it's not even a skill issue. You just walk in, you're like, I didn't know that was gonna happen, and you just fucked me in the ass. So they need to checkpoint these bosses because people want to be able to go in blind, experience it, learn it, beat it, and then get their reward. They don't need to corpse rush it. If they fail, reset the boss. That's fine. But all of their time up to that point should not get invalidated simply because they didn't want to go to YouTube and look up how to do the boss first. Because if they leave things the way they are, nobody's going to go into an experience and just have that experience. Everybody's going to go look it up before they experience it because it's going to piss them off and waste their time. Also, these static tokens, I'm a little bit torn on whether it should go down to 3 or 4. With Sanctum, I feel like it would be more reasonable if instead of asking the player to go through every single floor again, because for the first 2 floors, it's kind of reasonable. But 1, 2, and 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's like, that's a lot, man. If you look at the distance and how many rooms you go to in Sanctum, it's almost the same as the amount of rooms you go to in the Izaro lab. So what if you just had them for their first Ascendancy, they just do 1, maybe the second they do 1 and 2, and then maybe for their third, they just do the 3rd floor, and then for their 4th, they do 3 and 4. Something like that. There's got to be something better than what it currently is. It is a slog. As a lot of things are in PoE 2, there just seems to be so much of an unnecessary slog. You know, I could talk about the rares, the size of the maps, how much of the atlas you have to explore just to find citadels. There is so much that just needs to be trimmed. Like, just a lot of fat needs to be trimmed. And to talk about Ultimatum, let's be real. Whatever the fuck this is, just to access the Trial Master is kind of fucking criminal. They're not static drops. It's RNG. And imagine you're playing SSF, Ultimatum's actually good for your build, and you do it 3 times, 30 waves of Ultimatum, and you just get Deadly Fate. Well, just do another 10. Hopefully you'll get the other 2. Yeah, just keep doing 10 waves. And then finally, you get the other 2, you try the Trial Master, and then you crash. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Like, what is that? 10 hours of time? Maybe? 5, 10? Like, what are we talking about? As someone who was excited for Sanctum and Ultimatum replacing Lab, because personally, I fucking hate Lab. Every PoE 1 league, I turn my brain off, I hold down W. If I'm never usually thinking in the PoE 1 campaign, so my character very easily can get, like, gibbed by Izaro. I just like, bro, I'm just holding down W key. When I get to the 3rd and 4th Izaro, my character is usually online. It's trivial, but the first 2, it's just a mechanic I have no desire to do. And I actually like Sanctum and Ultimatum. I like the Trials of the Sekimas, and I like Ultimatum. Conceptually, it's way too hard, and the rewards are questionable at best. But the way it's being done for your Ascendancies, I feel like a lot of people are starting to get to maps. I got that vibe from people who were saying they're getting the maps and they're not able to, like, afford anything. In the last video, they're not able to generate any currency after playing 4 or 5 hours a day, and then they come out with nothing to buy. No, not enough currency to buy anything. And I'm just sitting here thinking, what's going to happen when they try to get their 3rd Ascendancy? Because they're like, well, fuck, I can't buy any power. Let's try to ascend. I need something. And then they find out what they have to do for that. And it's 2 weeks until GGG gets back in the offices. So hopefully, as soon as they can, they will do something. But even then, it probably won't be soon enough for a lot of people, which really sucks. So that'll do it for this video. You can find me at Twitch, live complaining there. Like, subscribe, comment in the video. If you disagree, maybe you think this stuff's fine as is, maybe it's too easy, you have your own ideas for what they could do. I'm all down. I love to yap, I love to complain, as long as the devs care about their game and they want feedback and they want to act on it. And so that's why I'm here. Peace.